Hello everybody, welcome back. This is my first check-in of my project pan this year. So at the start of the year I did my introduction to my project pan, spoke about the items that I'm going to be including in the project pan, and then this is my first update video, and I'm happy to say that I have one empty so far. So I started off the year with 13 items in the project pan, and because of that empty I am now down to 12. I'm not going to replace that item. I did have a look in the rest of my makeup collection and I don't feel like I want to add in another item. So for now there's just 12, but I will talk you through the items, show you some progress pictures as well. So we will get started with the first item. So first item, the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation. Have I finally finished this off? No, it is still going strong. I've used it 21 times since the past update video, the introductory video. However, there have been about 3 occasions where I've gone to pump and I've not had a full pump's worth come out. But then the next day that I've used it, I've had a full pump. So I'm not sure whether that means that I'm now getting to the point where there's not much left in this. I still, for the life of me, cannot look into this bottle. I'm trying to use my ring light and see how much is left in here. I use my ring light, I use the window in natural daylight, I use the torch on my phone. I've tried to get my boyfriend to have a look as well, he can't see. So I have absolutely no idea how much is left in here, but considering how long it's been in my project pan and the fact that I use this most days, surely I should be there with it soon. So I would love for this to be an empty by the next update video. That would be great, and then I can focus on my 2 other foundations, because I did my makeup today and I don't know whether it's now because I'm in my mid-30s and my skin type has changed and I just feel like too much makeup is now too heavy on me, but I don't like how it looks at the moment. I just feel like it is too much. I just need lighter, hydrating, more skincare like makeup products. I mean, saying that, this is still a nice foundation though. I have enjoyed wearing this. It is a really nice effect. I wouldn't say it's particularly sheer, it is still a medium light coverage foundation, but it's not dull or matte or really heavy. But I just don't think it's the best option for my skin right now. So hopefully I will be done with this one soon. I used it 21 times since the previous update. Another foundation that I have in my project pan is by Merit. This is the Minimalist stick. This I've got in the shade Linen, and I use this as my concealer. Now, I don't think I've used much of this in comparison to the previous update, the introductory video, because I haven't needed to twist this at all. And where I use it as a concealer, I'm only targeting it under my eyes and on any blemishes. So although I've used it, again, 21 times since the previous video, I've not used loads of it because it's just for that kind of targeted concealing. It's a nice creamy product. It does blend out nicely, especially under my eyes. And I have used this as a foundation before as well, and I've really liked it. It's a lot more hydrating than I expect it to be. But whilst I have the Nars Sheer Glow as my daily all over foundation, the progress on this one will be slow, so I think this will probably be in my project pan for the vast majority of the year. The NYX Colour Corrector I used 20 times since the previous update. That's how much of it I have left. This I'm not a big fan of at all. I use this as my under eye corrector and it's not the creamiest of products. I have noticed on quite a few occasions that it is difficult to blend out. It kind of clings to texture. It's not really smooth and creamy and hydrating, so I much prefer the Bobbi Brown Corrector Pot. I will go back to that one after I've used this one up. But it's always interesting and fun to try different products, but I think once I have a holy grail like the Bobbi Brown Corrector that I've purchased many times and I know works for me, I've got to stick to that and don't go off piste and try something new, even if it is about a £5. The Merit Bronze Balm I used 21 times since the previous update. I've also got it on today. There is not much left in this at all, so this could be an empty by the next check-in. If not, definitely the next check-in after that one rather. This one is a really nice sheer buildable bronzer. I think some people don't like this because of its sheerness, but for me I like that because it means that it's really easy to work with. I'm not going to apply a swipe of it and then have quite a muddy, dull, heavy bronze. It's a nice colour to build up. and it's a really nice colour as well. It's not dark or muddy or orangey, it's just a nice natural bronze shade. And it's very hydrating as well, so it blends in quite nicely, and that's what I like about a lot of Merit makeup. It does feel like it takes into account skincare as well. So not too much longer to go with this one, hoping that will be an empty by the next check-in video. Another Merit product is the Flush Balm. This is in the shade Terracotta, and I think they've brought this shade back now. This was quite a beloved shade from Merit, and then they discontinued it and people were like, why did you do that? It was beautiful. But I think it is back now, and they do also have a couple of other shades as well. Lots of people really like these blushes from Merit. Me, I don't like that they don't last. I will pop this on, it'll blend up beautifully, it'll be a lovely colour, and honestly about 5 minutes later I'm like, where did my blusher go? Now I don't know whether that's because that means that my skin is dehydrated and it's just then drinking up the moisture from the blusher, or whether it is just the fact that this just doesn't last long at all, which is a shame because I do want to, in the future I suppose, not right now because I do still have a lot of powders, but stick to mostly or predominantly cream products because they are just glowy and hydrating and plump. I think where I've got a lot of powder on at the moment, it just feels quite heavy and quite kind of dull, but I wouldn't repurchase any of these blushes once I have finished this one. But where this one is pretty new, I've used it only 7 times actually since the introductory video. I think this one will be in the project pan for quite some time, but the only reason that I've used this 7 times is because I have about 4 cream blushes in this project pan, so I'm balancing wearing all of them on a daily basis. I have 2 products from this Hourglass Leopard face palette that's in the project pan. I've previously used up the highlighter, that was last year. So I'm wearing this one instead as a highlighter. This is Dim Light. This one I use as a highlighter, and I've also tried it as well as an actual finishing powder. I don't feel like it does anything either way that I've worn it. So for me this is a real superfluous product. I don't feel like I need to wear this, but this is very, very flat. I reckon probably 2 months left of this one, 3 max, and I'll be done with it. These powders for me I find are really easy to use up, so although you can look at this and go, oh that's 6 powders in a palette, that's going to take me years to get through. For me, I find it quite easy, which is quite nice because it then means I'm getting my money's worth out of it. And then the other product that I also used 21 times since the past update is the bronzer. I have that on today. It's a very nice bronzer, quite kind of light, nice colour, again like the Merit one, not muddy, not dark, not dull, not orange, a really nice shade. But once I've used up both bronzers, I'm not going to buy a bronzer for a while and just see how my makeup looks without one. But that bronzer has more life in it than the Dim Light does. That one I would say by halfway through the year I should be done with. Next is my Giorgio Armani Mini Eye Tint in the shade Rose Gold, a beautiful colour, as the name implies, a lovely rose gold shade. This is great for everyday wear, so a few occasions I have worn it at work. I've only worn it 8 times since the past update though, so it's not something that I'm wearing hugely regularly, so perhaps I need to bump up my usage of this because I think this is either now out of date or it will very soon be out of date, which is why it's in my project pan. I've put it in the project pan because I don't want it to go off or go bad before I get the chance to use it up. And where it's a liquid, there's always that possibility. Powders are usually fine with, but liquid or cream products you've got to be a little bit cautious about. But a lovely product, and where it's a mini, there's not loads in there to start with anyway, so hopefully I can use this up. Maybe by halfway through the year, perhaps as like an optimistic guess. My eyeliner by Victoria Beckham I used 16 times. It's a really beautiful brown shade. I've got it in my waterline today. I either pop it in the waterline or tightline with it, so I don't wear loads of it. But where it is quite a creamy formulation, I do find that I need to sharpen it on a fairly regular basis, so that's helping to get through it. And that's how much I have left. So I don't have loads of it left, but I don't, like I just said, I don't wear loads of it at one time anyway, so I do still think that I've got a few months left in this one. I'm not sure if I would repurchase this or repurchase another brown eyeliner after I've used it up. I like the effect sometimes with it being in my waterline, but I'm just not really an eyeliner person. So these are the 3 other cream blushes that I am working on as part of this project pan. They are lipsticks, they're all by House of Colour. And I bought these from them when I was styling myself as an autumn. So now that I'm a spring, I don't wear any of these as lipsticks, but they work perfectly fine as blushes. So the first one is Soft Amber, which I've used 9 times since the previous update. Not sure if there's going to be too much difference in the photos. This one is just a really nice warm orangey brown shade. I've actually got it on today, the Merit one. The next one is Rust, which I've worn 7 times, and this actually blends out as quite a bright red blusher. So when I go for brighter spring clothes or like a coral lipstick, I will wear this blusher because it matches that brightness quite well. And then the last one is Autumn Shimmer that I've worn 11 times, and I wear this when I wear the Giorgio Armani eye tint or when I just want a softer, like prettier makeup look, because it's a very nice pink shimmery blusher. I think if I was solely working on Soft Amber, I could probably get through that in like 1 to 2 months, but where I've got 4 of them in the project pan, it is going to take a while to get through all of them, but I'm trying to wear 2 at any one time, so that's why today I've got the Merit one and Soft Amber on. And then the 13th and final item in the project pan is another lipstick. It's by Eldridge and it's in the shade Kitten Mischief, and it's completely flat. Cannot apply any more of this without scraping my lips from the applicator. Yes, you can dig out the rest of the product and then put it in a pot and use it as, again, a lipstick or a blusher. I have done that before when I've used up lipsticks, and I don't like to do that because I just find it quite messy and quite impractical. So now when I level off a lipstick and I cannot apply anymore, I say that that is done for me. This took 17 uses to use up, so I didn't wear it every single day. There were other days when I wore other lip products, so that was nice that it didn't feel like I was trying to wear it every day to get it used up. It just happened naturally. And I finished it off on the 30th of Jan, so right towards the end of the month. It is a lovely neutral on me, actually. It's not hugely warm. A neutral browny pink shade. Depending on the rest of my makeup, it can end up looking a bit like a summer makeup rather than a spring makeup, but it's a nice toned down colour for every day, great for work. So you've got a bit of colour on your lips but nothing too bright. And as lovely as it was and as nice as it was to use it, I wouldn't buy this shade again because it does turn a little bit summer like on me. But I love the formulation because it's hydrating, it's creamy, it's got a nice sheen to it, but that then doesn't compromise the longevity or the amount of pigment that you get out of it. So a really nice lipstick. I would recommend people try this one if you want a nice go-to everyday pink lipstick but isn't hugely pink. It's got a little bit of caramel, a little bit of toffee in there, a little bit of brown in there to help kind of tone that pinkness down. So as I said at the beginning, I will not be replacing the empty. I am just going to now have 12 items in my project pan. And looking at the list, in terms of empties for next month, it might just be that bronze balm, but I think that that will probably take a little bit longer than a month to get through. But nice that I'm making good progress across all of the items actually, in particular things like the eyeliner and the eye tint that I don't wear hugely often, but I am still seeing that there's a difference. And I hope as well actually that next month I can be done with that Nars Sheer Glow foundation, or if I'm not done with it, it can be rather on its very last legs. So that was my update. Happy to have one empty at the first check-in video. That's always a nice start to the project pan when you have an empty pretty much straight away. So thank you very much for watching, hope you liked it, and I will see you again very soon for my next one. Bye.